Hello again, I am Blunty. So, Pokemon Go, it's popular. It's very popular, as a matter of fact. It is hugely popular. It's a phenomenal popularity at the moment, and everywhere from the tiniest blog to the biggest news site is using any excuse they can to put Pokemon Go on a headline because lots and lots and lots of people are interested in it. And I've seen a lot of people complain about that. I can't get away from the Pokemon news, and well, what a shock. The media, whose job it is to publish things that people will want to read, are publishing things about a popular thing that people are interested in. Adoy. But of course, whenever anything is this popular, one of the first things to happen after something becomes this popular is a counter-reaction. If something is very, very popular, it's suddenly mainstream and therefore not very cool anymore, because the only way to be cool is to be counter to the mainstream. Because that's the way idiots work. But in any case, the novelty is starting to wear off a little bit for some people, and they're starting to realise what the game actually is. And what the game actually is a free-to-play game. And because it's labelled with Pokemon, this is the first time a lot of people have, chosen to enter into this free-to-play game type of space. So after being tricked into downloading this game, after being lured by the Pokemon brand, and having the first level sort of rapid progression of the opening of the game with the first sort of dozen levels or so, suddenly people are realizing that free-to-play games are designed to make you pay. Adoy! And I'm talking about an article I saw on Ars Technica today, which apparently links back to a Reddit thread, which, a bunch of people are doing a bunch of graphs and charting stuff and trying to sort of show that, past when you get to about sort of level 25 or something, progress becomes very, very difficult and it slows vastly down, and it seems like the game is just trying desperately to make you pay real money for the, purchasable items so you can progress fast again. Well, no shit. That's how free-to-play games work. It's not a linear progression for leveling up in hardly any games. Once you get past a certain point, you need more and more and more and more XP to level up to the next level. That's just the way the fucking thing works. That's why the word grinding exists in gaming. You have to grind to get levels, to do the thing, to advance, to do more things, and it's a gameplay loop, and it's not new. And it's certainly not exclusive to free-to-play games, but apparently people who don't normally play that type of game, don't normally play RPGs, don't normally play free-to-play games or anything like that, have suddenly realized that the game is mechanically designed, engineered very, very deliberately to make it harder and harder and harder to progress without spending money. And again, I refer you back to my earlier statement, no shit, Sherlock! So, just for those of you out there who are just shocked and surprised and outraged by this game mechanic that is designed to make you pay money for a free-to-play game, how do you think they intended to make money? Just give away the game and hope people donate money out of the goodness of their hearts because it's a fantastically deep and enjoyable and rich gameplay experience? No. If you're out there and you weren't expecting to be able to play this game forever, really easily and progress just like you did in the first sort of 6 or 7 levels and keep that, get the rhythm going forever and ever and ever without spending a cent, maybe you're a bit of an idiot. And if you are a bit of an idiot, I'm going to clue you in on what happens from here on in. This is the basic game. Once you get to part, level 25, level 30, it's going to become much more harder to progress and level up and feel like you're achieving something. And on an ongoing basis, Niantic and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo will be dribbling out little bits and pieces of updates and gameplay things and new features and new items and new places to do and new ways to play, and they're going to drip it out very, very carefully in a very, very slow rhythmic method in order to try and maintain as much of that player base as possible for as long as possible, because the larger the player base is, the more they can keep it going, the more they will get in some of that free-to-play money coming in from people who do buy items. Not everyone is going to buy items. That's the way free-to-play works. They rely on having as large a user base as possible because, a percentage of those players, and this is the way percentages work, the bigger the overall number is, the larger that percentage number is. Well, if it's 10% of 10, it's 1. If it's 10% of 100, it's 10. It's math. It's really simple. Anyway, larger player base as possible. And they rely on that sort of let's say 10% of people who do regularly spend money. They rely on those people, and they rely on the sort of 0.5% of those people who are called whales, which is a casino gambling term. And these are the people who just spend big, like huge amounts of money, and that's what keeps these games alive. That small percentage of people willing to pay on a regular basis, and the smaller percentage of those people willing to spend a lot of money on a regular basis. That's how these games work. And in order to keep them working that way, they have to design them this way. They have to try and draw out the gameplay experience as long as possible, just give you just enough of the carrot, just enough to keep you coming back and back and back and back. And sooner or later, you're either going to get bored and piss off and go play something else free to play until you get to the level 12 or whatever it is in that free to play game, and then go to the next free to play game. But you know, as long as they keep some of these paying customers around, that's how they make the money. That is, of course, not the only way they make their money. They are going to be doing sponsored deals with certain locations. It's already been leaked. I don't think it's officially announced just yet, but McDonald's are going to be a sponsored partner, or whatever the terminology is, basically, because of the massive power of Pokemon Go to drive people to real-world locations. Businesses that want a lot of people around their locations on the hopes that some of those people, again, you know, you're waiting for that 10% who are willing to spend money, go in and buy something. McDonald's is a classic example. If you're hanging around in you know, you've got 3 Pokestops all around you, they're all lured all the time, so the temptation to stay in that spot and just catch Pokemon after Pokemon after Pokemon after Pokemon and level up and level up and level up. It's very tempting to stay there. I mean, if you've seen my Let's Play videos, you saw me sort of almost get trapped in one of those very rich Pokestop Go things, areas. I didn't want to leave, because every time I took another step, oh, another Pokemon, I've got to get that one. Oh, another Pokemon, I've got to get... Well, if you do that outside of McDonald's and you stay long enough, you can go, well, actually, I'm a bit thirsty. Oh, I could do with a cheeseburger as well. And you're going to go into McDonald's because it's just there. And that's the way they make their money on that side of the fence. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I just wanted to rant for a bit. So that's what this video is all about. I just needed to unfurl. No, that's the wrong word. Unleash. Jabber, I guess. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time.